51 Tips for Developing Mental Superpowers by Ademola Morebise. Disclaimer: the author has strived to be as accurate and complete as possible in the creation of this book, notwithstanding the fact that he does not warrant or represent at any time that the contents within are accurate, due to the rapidly changing nature of the book's subject matter. While all attempts have been made to verify the information provided in this publication, the author assumes no responsibility for errors, omissions, or contrary interpretation of the subject matter herein. Any perceived slights of specific persons, peoples, or organizations are unintentional. In practical advice books, like anything else in life, there are no guarantees of income made or that the information in this book will do anything for you at all. Readers are cautioned to rely on their own judgment about their individual circumstances to act accordingly. This book is not intended for use as a source of legal, business, accounting, or financial advice. All readers are advised to seek services of competent professionals. Introduction. While I am definitely not the smartest man alive, or even claim to possess mental superpowers, I have been approached every now and then by people who genuinely wanted me to share some tips on how I am able to function mentally at the level at which I do. This called for quite some reflection and to pin down tips, guidelines, and instructions that could help anyone at all to develop mental superpowers and unlock the full potential of their mind. This book does not claim to have all the answers, but this book will literally get you thinking, and with some investment of time and effort on the part of the reader, this book will get you started on the path. Then you could seek other resources to help take things to the next level. Everything you find in this book are things I have known and practiced for over 10 years. I am qualified to teach them.
Tip 1. Belief. Everybody has the same amount of brain power. You can be smarter if you want to. Henry Ford was right on the money when he said that whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you are correct. Obviously, a human being is as powerful or powerless as they think they are. You have to believe in yourself enough to accept that you can develop your mind and become so powerful that your mental abilities would surprise you. Tip 2. Rome was not built in a day. The key to unlocking your mental superpowers lies in your ability to repeat simple things over and over. Consistency. You have probably heard it over and over again. Consistency is the key. Developing mental superpowers is not a mystic art. There is nothing occult about it. You simply need to be ready to do things over and over again until mastery forms. Do it once, then 10 times, then 100 times, until it sticks, until it works, until you get results. Tip 3. Patience. You will not become a genius in a day or week. There is no fixed time, but with patience, it will happen. I think the formula for success is very simple. Look for proven methods to get what you want and try it out with patience until it works for you. As long as you are sure that what you are doing consistently has worked before for others in situations and circumstances similar to yours, do not give up. Change it up, evolve a bit, but exercise some patience with getting results. We all have the ability to develop a powerful mind, but we start off at different places. Be patient with the process. Your mileage will vary. Tip 4. Developing mental superpowers helps, but it will not magically solve all your problems overnight. Mental superpowers are great. You are able to figure things out faster than anyone else. However, it does not necessarily mean all your problems will disappear. Becoming smarter doesn't guarantee more happiness or even more money. Being dumb comes with its challenges. Being super smart also poses its unique challenges. Mental powers help us increase our efficiency, rate of work, but it might not so much help with increasing effectiveness, desired result. We need more than mental prowess to clarify our purpose and objectives that actually lead to a fulfilling life. A sense of purpose and direction is not tied to your mental capacity. Rowing your boat 4 times faster in the wrong direction, efficiency, will never get you to your promised land, right? Tip 5. Memorizing holy books, phone books, science textbooks, or the alphabet will not automatically make you a genius. It takes more than reading books to develop mental superpowers. Mental power is not about how much data and information you can regurgitate at the snap of a finger. Do not memorize stuff. Mental superpowers do not develop by cramming data into your head. It is what you can make of the data that counts. Tip 6. Mental superpowers are about developing a sense for logic and deductions. We do not consider someone brilliant just because they have the ability to memorize facts and figures, but their ability to make sense of their knowledge and apply it appropriately in the present situation. A genius mind is not about knowing a lot. It is about the ability to process data and information into focused wisdom. You will benefit a lot by understanding and mastering logical thinking and decision-making. How to find a connection between obscure facts and lead to new discoveries. Tip 7. Reading is a passive affair. You do not really learn by reading or being preached at. The purpose of reading is not only to acquire information, but to also invoke some kind of reaction. Train yourself to interact with whatever you are learning. Learning has to be an active process. You should learn to debate what you are reading. Identify what you agree with and areas you disagree with or require further clarification. You must learn how to become a proactive reader. Interacting with what you are reading is what will make you actually learn. Tip 8. Pay attention to your body. For maximum mental superpowers and overall productivity, your diet, rest, and exercises are important. There is a relationship between your mental abilities and your overall health. Be deliberate about your diet, get enough sleep, and avoid stress. You have to study your body and understand the kind of surroundings that empowers you to be in the best frame of mind for learning and problem solving. Tip 9. Use your hands. You must learn how to use your hands to make stuff. There is something about being tactile. I do not want this book to become too technical, so I will not dig into the many different types of intelligence the experts have tried to identify and label over the years. What is relevant here is the fact that using your hands to do things, to create things, helps to improve several brain functions. You will boost your overall ingenuity, spatial memory, and your ability to understand analogy. You will also enjoy improved hand-eye coordination. These things help your subconscious mind better sync with your active mind and body. Tip 10. Understand the power of imagination. Use it to create future destinations for yourself and try to answer the questions it poses. Religious folks call it the power of vision. Scientists call it a thought experiment. It is all about engaging your mind and using it as a tool to create and explore an alternate reality. Imagination is free. Imagination can be trained. Patiently work on your ability to imagine things and scale up from there. This entire book you are reading is based on the premise that with good discipline, you can train your mind to far exceed its initial intellectual potential. For example, if you imagine for yourself what success would look like, maybe it is being able to impact 100 people in your community, then you ask yourself how that could happen. That leads you to try to map out your journey from your current station to this desired destination. The young inventor reading this could imagine a future where her invention has been used globally and then ask questions of herself. How does the invention work? Does the science work out? What scientific or technological breakthroughs need to happen before your vision, thought experiment can become a reality? What aspect of it are you going to tackle first? As you can see, this tool is only for the patient and diligent. Tip 11. Lean on your mind more than you lean on machines. Do mental math. The simplest way to start developing your mental superpowers is to ban yourself from using calculators. Do the math in your head or take out a pen and paper if it gets complicated. It will be painfully slow at first, but you will get faster and more accurate over time. Nikola Tesla claimed he could multiply up to 5 figures in his mind. His mind could process 10,000 times 99,999. Start small, 2 times 2, and work your way up. Try to balance your dependence on machines with things you can handle with your mind. Tip 12. Learn a programming language and use it to build a simple tool you might need. Yes, seriously, the economic benefits of learning a programming language these days might be obvious. Digital, programmable machines are becoming a key part of our daily life, and the machines operate based on their programming, also known as coding. Taking the time to learn a programming language, anyone at all, empowers your mind's ability to learn and to see things differently. You will learn how to think, how to analyze a task or problem, and it will increase your all-round creativity. Tip 13. Play games, physical games and video games alike. Games are not just a nice way to relax. They are also a great way to empower your mind and have fun at the same time. Physical games help you move your body, which is a good thing. You might also learn teamwork, self-control, fairness, honor, and success. Video games could actually help you learn how to pay attention to details, and your cognitive functions would get a boost. Yes, there is a risk of addiction, but that is if you have no greater matters of life and purpose tying you back to the real world. Tip 14. Make your brain sweat. Let it heat up. No pain, no gain. Your greatest mistake would be avoiding the stress. First, it is not stress, it is stretch. You are not having a stressful day. You are having a stretchful day. You have to put your brain to work, make the brain sweat. You will become the better for it. It will improve. You have to commit to depending on your own mind for your day-to-day survival and progress. Stop depending so much on machines, swap some of them out, and use your mind instead. Could you throw away your alarm clock and try the discipline required to get up on time? Would you stop depending on another person's brilliance and settle down to develop your own? Yes, it is hard work, but you will be better for it. Tip 15. Befriend smart people. Seek a mentor, form or create a mastermind with others trying to boost their mental superpowers. Show me your friend and I would show you who you are. They say if you got 6 friends who are all millionaires and you hang out with them, soon enough you become the 7th millionaire in the gang. Tip 16. Train your weaker hand and foot. You can develop proficiency in both hands with consistent usage. Let me tell you a secret. When I started exploring ways to boost my mental powers, I went out there and bought a 2D exercise book and started writing with my weaker left hand. The first few days were horrible, but over time, I was surprised that my handwriting on my left hand did improve. Today, I consider myself to be ambidextrous. I wasn't born that way. Tip 17. There is a relationship between your handwriting and your brilliance. Invest in cultivating the best handwriting you can. A lot of good falsifiable scientific research out there has indicated that there is a clear relationship between the way you write and your intelligence. Bad handwriting is not always a sign of stupidity, though. Some people write badly because their pen cannot keep up with their minds. So, which camp do you belong to? Tip 18. You will boost your mind if you insist on structuring your life, your time, and how you organize stuff. If you begin to take responsibility for your time and try to plan it out as much as you can. You might not be wealthy enough at the moment to control 100% of your time, but you can start out by controlling whatever patch of time you do control. Are you not baffled that despite the fact that everyone knows we only get 24 hours in a day, it seems most people are never bothered enough to actually structure the day? When structuring your day and planning, leave room for the unexpected and for mistakes here and there. It is the discipline to plan that helps your mind. The execution is a bonus. Tip 19. Decide to say only things you mean and to mean everything you say. Otherwise, please shut up. Make up your mind that going forward, you would only say things you mean and mean everything you say. You have to become a person of your word. Your words have to become your bond. It is hard for you to power up mentally when you avoid these kinds of commitments. Always remember that not saying anything is an option. Furthermore, you always reserve the right to say, I would need to get back to you on that. Tip 20. You have to believe that given sufficient time and resources, you can solve any problem. Everything we use and take for granted today is the product of someone's mind. Things we thought were impossible suddenly became possible. Someone no smarter than you figured it out. You too can figure it out. Please understand that there is no problem that can withstand a bombardment of thoughts. If you can concentrate and make the time to constantly think about it, anything is possible. You have got to believe that. Tip 21. Always ask questions. Questions are important. It is absolutely important to ask questions. Bonus points for asking the right questions. Asking the right questions is even more important than knowing the answers. Asking smart people wrong questions does not lead to anywhere productive, you know. Asking a question means you have thought about the situation at hand and are able to identify gaps in your understanding. Here is your question. If you think about it, you would realize that you can only ask questions, especially relevant questions, after you have identified the goals and objectives of the matter at hand. Develop the skill of asking questions. It is one of the most important skills you can ever develop. Tip 22. Developing greater mental powers also requires a greater sense of humility. Mental superpowers are not for bragging rights. Staying humble is what will ensure that you continue to grow. I have heard it over and over again that the more you learn, the more you discover just how much you do not know. I now know this firsthand as well. Humility for me helps me keep that perspective and much-needed balance. Humility allows you open up to new learning experiences, and you will find yourself drawing wisdom and knowledge from unexpected places. Tip 23. Develop further capacity by taking on bigger responsibilities, tasks, and projects. They stretch your mind. You have to prioritize your growth over comfort. There is no growth, no joy, and no surprises for you when you do the same thing over and over again. It is one of those things that differentiates humans from robots. Step up, turn things up a notch, take it to the next level. Volunteer at a non-profit around you. Offer to lead a new team at work. Study your industry and identify a 10-step jump super move you could attempt. That is how to stretch your mind. Tip 24. Drink a lot of water. I do not think there is a need to explain this. Drink water. Lots and lots of water. Tip 25. Write a lot. Write about anything. Just write. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the permission to write. Writing brings your learning process full circle. You think you are learning a lot by reading books? Then settle down and write a book. A proper book, and you will discover how much more the project taught you. It doesn't matter what you are writing about. What matters is that you write often. I would recommend you create a free blog and turn off comments. You simply need to write, and you do not need the comments for now. A great form of writing is something we call morning pages. You simply write out at least 3 pages every morning. No topic or purpose, just anything that pops into your head. Writing completes the cycle of problem identification, analysis, research, and then your own response. Tip 26. Draw, paint, express yourself. Being brave enough to draw or design graphics with an app helps you express your creative side. Creativity is about having the courage to express yourself. If you are not courageous enough to express yourself, you would be suppressing your intelligence. Drawing, painting, and designing graphics help you explore an aspect of your mind that you might not normally explore. This pays off in other areas of your intellectual pursuits. That is not the point. Tip 27. What can you remember? You would benefit a lot by training yourself to pay attention. It is a very useful skill for your mind. It would shock you that the first step to remembering more things is to believe you would remember in the first place. We sabotage ourselves all the time by claiming we cannot remember something, and so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So let us play a game. Put down this book and stare in a particular direction for 30 seconds, then write down everything you can remember. If you do this often, over time your mind will begin to do this automatically without you even having to think about it. With some training, you would be able to recall numbers, OTPs, TUFA codes, etc. after staring at it for a few seconds. A very handy skill indeed. Tip 28. What does it mean? Everything is a clue. If you follow the clues, you will start to unlock a better understanding. Find patterns in nature, in everything out there. Seasons, economic trends, man-made holidays and festivals. Find connection between things. Gaps in our understanding keep us from becoming as effective as we could be. We can do better than memorization. Seek to understand stuff. The next time someone throws out a statistic at you, or mentions some fact or makes a joke, you reserve the right to ask, what does it mean? What is its significance? Why is that important? I should warn you though, a lot of people don't have the answers to these questions. Don't let their ignorance or possible hostility discourage you. Tip 29. To improve your understanding, always start from first principles. As foundational and basic as possible, Do you understand how things work, or do you simply use things without giving much thought to how they work? There is no need to reinvent the wheel. The wheel works well, but there is usually a need to understand how the wheel works. That knowledge is empowering. It is easier to solve problems comprehensively when you are armed with the necessary foundational knowledge. You will benefit a lot if you spent time to understand things at a level or two deeper than most people would bother to. Tip 30. Don't guess and idly speculate. Observe and deduce an answer. It becomes faster over time. Repeat after me. I do not guess and speculate. I observe and deduce. I do not guess and speculate. I observe and deduce. I do not guess and speculate. I observe and deduce. There are clues all around you. You just have to train yourself to identify them and reason out what it means. What time is it? Try to remember how long ago you checked the time and try to deduce how much time has passed since then. Has your friend left the building? Try to deduce the last time you heard him talk, or a quick glance to see if his bag is still in the corner. See? This thing gets better over time. Tip 31. Read wide. Real knowledge is about finding connection between things you already know, so if you read wide, you increase your chances of finding a connection. Most breakthroughs occur when we port ideas from one field into another. Therefore, do not pursue specialized knowledge initially. Learn wide before committing to a track. You have to go wide. Read many things, anything at all, before you go deep. Read many things in a single domain of knowledge. Tip 32. Celebrate your progress. No matter how little, there is always something good about where you are right now. There is always some progress that has been made, but you would never know unless you commit to a culture of gratitude and giving thanks to God. While you might not yet be intelligent enough to do certain things, you do well to recognize that truly you are not at the same level you were yesterday. Don't be too hard on yourself that you fail to see that you are getting better. Remember that this is a marathon and not a sprint. Tip 33. Don't take life easy. Capacity is developed in hardship. Take life hard. Avoid saving yourself the stress of doing something properly. If you would ever develop mental superpowers, it would come down to your decision to take things hard. It is hard to read this book to the last page. It is harder to try out some of the tips. It is even harder to commit to doing these things until you master them enough and you do them all the time without even thinking about it. Nevertheless, you would do well to understand that unless you agree to take things hard and demand the best from yourself, you cannot better your conditions. It is not stress. It is about stretching yourself. Tip 34. Intuition is not voodoo or juju. It is a mode of thinking that is so fast that it sidesteps your conscious processing. Intuition is often ahead of your comprehension. You might not understand something, but you intuited it, followed your guts. Over time, especially as you implement the things discussed in this book so far, your intuition will begin to kick in. It is not up to you to encourage it and allow greater expression. Most experts develop an intuition for their work. They can answer within a few seconds questions that might take hours for the novice to answer. So look out for your intuition and strengthen it by being brave enough to act on it. Tip 35. Your mental superpowers are reflected in the accuracy, precision, and consistency of your intuition. A key part of what makes someone look intelligent is their ability to solve problems quickly. That is where your intuition comes in. You must learn to lean in on your intuition. We need to trust our instincts every time and at least give it some consideration before we make a final decision. You can make a habit to first intuit an answer and then reason out the answer and compare to see how much you are off or not. This tip is made under the assumption that you are developing your mind and ascending to a higher state of maturity in your thinking faculties. Tip 36. Never be timid with respect to expressions of your creativity. Even if it is awful, empower yourself to be expressive. Your first steps in anything would be awful. Very, very awful. The road to mastery is full of mistakes and sometimes expensive errors. The best mentors cannot shield you from every pain of learning. You must make peace with the fact that your first batch of ideas, your earliest works of creativity, will not be brilliant or even very useful. However, you empower yourself when you take the step of faith to do it anyway. Tip 37. Study how things work. Take things apart and try to fit them together again. What can you try to take apart and try to fit together again? Never take comfort in the saying that ignorance is bliss. Reject that idea. Become obsessed with finding out how things work. It trains your mind and vastly improves your own works of creativity. Start with this book. What works about this format? What are the downsides? Why is this book a good idea? Why is a book a very, very terrible idea? Tip 38. Be passionately curious about systems anywhere you find one. Investigate systems. Systems-level thinking is a legitimate superpower. Not everyone is comfortable enough with the kind of mental processes involved with thinking about things at a system level and thinking hard about how pieces fit together. Start by studying existing systems. How is that large company able to build a system that delivers their goods worldwide? Could you invest some 6 months to investigate that? What makes them tick? How many machines, generators, phones, laptops, vehicles can you tear down and rebuild? Please tear down and rebuild machines you own. I would prefer to avoid lawsuits coming my way. Tip 39. Write a letter in long form to your father, mother, or a mentor. Do it often. It empowers your mind to deduce and make connections hitherto not obvious or conscious to you. Apart from the fact that you would develop a better relationship with your mentors by writing them a progress letter every month, writing a letter helps you put your thoughts into writing in a way that has to be clear and precise. Your cognitive skills will receive a boost when you settle down into the discipline offered you by writing a letter in long form. Writing this letter gets you thinking about what is important and what is not, helps you clarify your goals, and also forces you to think about brevity, since I assume you would respect their time enough to ensure you do not write a single word that serves no purpose to the overall narrative. You could commit to doing it bi-weekly, monthly, or every 3 months. Whatever works for you. It is a good idea to write with the assumption that the letter will be read, but once you email it or snail mail it out, make peace with the fact that it might not be read. Your mentor might prefer a physical meeting, for example, or a phone call. Nevertheless, once again, the goal for you is to become more disciplined in your thinking processes. So, you have to write the letter regardless of whether your mentor or parents will read it or not. Tip 40. Drive somewhere far 4 hours. It trains you to focus for many, many hours. It will also probably do your self-confidence some good. It takes confidence to drive a vehicle. It also takes confidence to drive your way through life. Driving a car requires you to believe you are making the right decision every second while things speed past you, and you are constantly fighting off distractions. When you embrace the training that comes with being disciplined enough to drive for many hours, it transforms your mind by teaching you to pay attention, observe a situation, make deductions, and commit to an action immediately. You do not get to take an hour or two to make up your mind. Tip 41. Laziness is not a virtue. It must be exterminated. What is the purpose of laziness? Where is the virtue in being mentally lazy? May laziness not stop us from unlocking our mental superpowers. Tip 42. Take control of your life. You are 100% in charge of your life. Someday, you have to accept the fact you and you alone are 100% responsible for how your life would turn out. Take control of your thoughts and actions. Do not be a mindless zombie. Interrupt your interruptions and distract your distractions. Your mission is to take 100% control of your time and life. Obsess over it and work it out. Tip 43. Find ways to do more in the time you already spend. Be smarter, not busier. The goal is not to be busy. The goal is productivity. You have to resist the urge to appear to be busy, as that would do you no good. Your goal is the goal. Your goal is to clarify the real goal and then think hard about how you can achieve it in half the time. There is no benefit to appearing busy. You must resist the trap. What you want to really do is to be smarter about how you spend your time. It would amaze you that there are much more efficient ways to get things done, only if you care enough to choose effectiveness over being busy. Tip 44. Numbers are tools of great precision. You must become a person of numbers. God might have created the universe without mathematics and numbers. We are not made of mathematics. But the human world runs on numbers. There is no way to avoid this. You must confront numbers, understand them, understand the story the number is telling. Numerical competence is non-negotiable in today's world. Tip 45. The person seeking mental superpowers also needs spiritual enlightenment. Accumulating mental powers goes beyond simply training your mind. There is definitely a spiritual component to it. We do not know for sure the boundaries of our brain and the mind or spirit. The best of science at this time cannot explain consciousness or even how the brain does most of the things it does. So, you should also pay attention to the spiritual. Your spiritual growth aids your mental ascent. Tip 46. Choose your spiritual source carefully. Everyone needs a source from which they can draw warmth, support, and spiritual energy. Whether that's a spiritual leader, pastor, coach, mentor, or therapist, they somehow paint a picture of what's possible for you. Self-motivation doesn't work for most people. So who have you granted permission to define what's possible for you? What ceiling have they placed on your mental capacity and drive for excellence? Tip 47. Play a game. Can I do better? The answer to the question, can I do better, is always an absolute yes. Never settle. There is always a better way to get things done, and it is your job to find it or invent a new methodology if you exhaust your search. Tip 48. The key to developing mental powers seems to be read, think, meditate, and exercise your mind. It might be useful to think about your mind as a muscle. It benefits greatly from being constantly stretched and expanded through knowledge, thinking, and application of conscious thought. It is something you would have to do continuously. Tip 49. Always keep your word, even if there are no witnesses. You have to keep your word when you give it publicly. Then go a step forward to keep your word, even if there are no witnesses. Take it all a step higher still by keeping your word to yourself. Let your word bond you and commit you towards a course of action. This helps you become more mindful and more conscious of the weight of your decisions. You power up when your words begin to mean something to you. It lights you up and gets you ready for productive labor. Tip 50. The gift of mental power comes from God, divine being, and if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power. Nikola Tesla. I would insist that it is a good idea to pray about becoming mentally sound. When you do that, you are going beyond yourself and tapping into something greater than yourself. Nikola Tesla is also credited with the quote, "My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration." Basically, there is something out there, something beyond our comprehension, and we can learn to get in tune with this great source of spiritual strength, knowledge, and inspiration, and that would give a boost to our mental superpowers. We definitely need a more comprehensive discussion of this idea, and I would do that in a future publication, but just take this tip for what it is. You can align yourself to be better in tune with God, and that would give you a boost. Tip 51. Travel, 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 travel somewhere. It doesn't matter where, just go. When we travel, we open ourselves up to new experiences, and as such, we are more likely to learn and absorb new experiences. It is hard for your daily life to offer enough surprises or discoveries to jolt you into that learning frame of mind, but a change of environment does that for you. If you feel in a rut and just going through your days mindlessly, perhaps it is time for new challenges, the kinds that come with traveling.
Congratulations on completing 51 tips for developing mental superpowers by Ademola Morebise. We hope you found this journey through the secrets of unlocking your mind's full potential, both enlightening and empowering. As Ademola Morebise mentioned, this book is just the beginning of your quest to develop your mental superpowers. It's a roadmap, a guiding light to help you start your journey towards a more powerful and awakened mind. But remember, this book is only the first step. There's so much more to explore and discover. If you've been intrigued by the insights and tips shared here, if you felt that spark of curiosity ignited within you, then you owe it to yourself to seek out more from Ademola Morebise. To delve deeper into the world of mental superpowers, to uncover the limitless potential of your own mind, we encourage you to visit the author's website at zabar.site/Amorebise. There, you'll find a treasure trove of resources, books, and knowledge waiting for you. Don't let this be the end of your journey. Let it be the beginning of an extraordinary transformation. Your mind is a powerful tool, and with Ademola Morebise as your guide, there are no limits to what you can achieve. So, what are you waiting for? Take action today. Visit zabar.site/Amorebise. Explore, learn, and unlock the mental superpowers that have always been within you. Your destiny awaits, and the path to greatness starts right now. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of self-discovery. Remember, your mind is your greatest asset, and Ademola Morebise is your trusted guide. Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep unlocking the limitless power of your mind.